Welcome. Thank you for joining this California Pesticide Use Reporting Tool Demonstration webinar. My name is David Healy, and I manage Stone's Applied Information Management Group. As a matter of housekeeping, I wanted to let you know that we are recording this webinar for those who could not make it today. But we will stop recording before the question and answer period, so your identity and questions will not be recorded. As some of you may know, Stone Environmental has conducted many FIFRA-related risk assessment and fate transport studies for the industry. We have data mined the California Department of Pesticide Regulations pesticide use database for many years in conducting spatial analyses, fate modeling, and identifying locations for the conduct of field studies. We can envision many other possible uses as well, but the content-rich data in its downloadable format from the state is not all that readily accessible or user-friendly. For those not familiar with it, it contains data on 1,278 chemicals, on 280 crop or type uses at the township range section level, or 640 acres. So we built the California Pesticide Use Reporting Tool to simplify access to 11 years of data. At this time, I'd like to introduce Alan Hammersmith, who will now demonstrate the application and its current functionality. Alan is a senior application developer at Stone with over 13 years of experience in database and web GIS design and development. Alan led the development of the Pesticide Use Reporting Tool here at Stone.
Thank you, David. So as David mentioned, I'm now going to show how the California Pesticide Use Reporting Mapping Tool works. So this is what you'll see when you come to the website at capur.stone-env.net. So as you can see, this is an interactive mapping application. Allows us to pan the map around. We can zoom in using the slider on the left, zoom out just like standard internet mapping applications. You can also use the mouse to zoom in using the scroll wheel, or if you hold the Shift key, you can drag a box, and Shift and Control to drag a box will zoom you out. You can also change the base maps depending on what sort of data you are interested in seeing in the background using the map selector on the upper right. So that's all in good with internet mapping applications. So let's get on to the selection tools. As David mentioned, we have over 1,200 different chemicals that you can select from in this drop-down list. And you can see it's quite an extensive list based on the PUR data that we downloaded. We also have a drop-down that will allow us to select which units are displayed on the map once we select a chemical. We have the options to choose between total pounds, total acres, or the total pounds per acre on average. And we also have a sites list which will default to the all sites item to show all applications of the selected chemical. But if we are interested in a more specific use of that chemical, we can select from the available sites. And then at the bottom of the selection tools, you'll see we have a couple of slider controls. One controls the year of data that you're interested in viewing, and the other is for the upper and lower bounds of the legend. Now the legend here you can see over on the left. As I change the legend slider, then those values will get updated. And I can also move from the bottom slider to move that up, which will also update the legend. This will become important once we get some data on the map. So let's do that. So if I select a chemical from the drop-down list, all I have to do is start typing, and the list becomes automatically filtered based on what I've selected. So in here I'll select diazinon. And we can see that it automatically displays total pounds of diazinon for all sites in the year 2000. Now, a lot of this data looks like it's very red because here we have both of these sliders are on top of each other. So if we move these, we can adjust the slider to have a little bit more meaningful information told about the data. And we can also move the bottom one up if we wanted to filter, set a minimum threshold as well. You can see the performance does pretty well based on some of the optimization we've done with the data on the back end and also on the front end. So as we move through the years, we can move through the year slider, and it goes and gets more data from our database and then displays that on the map. So what we can see from this map is that we have a high use area around the Salinas Valley. So if I zoom into that, you can see we can get a little bit more information about that hotspot, that hot area, and as we zoom in more, we actually get even more detailed data about that. And then this will use the township and range section data, which is available, which is what all the reporting data is based on. So once we are into the area that we're interested in and also the year, we can click on these polygons to get the full 11-year history of this chemical in this section. And just like all the other polygons can do the same thing. Another thing I wanted to show is if I was interested in just one site, just one application method, let's say just broccoli. Now you can see I filtered the map to only include application methods that were used on broccoli. And again, we can also identify the map to get the entire 11-year history of that chemical's use. And then if we wanted to show maybe multiple sites, such as maybe lettuce, but here we have lettuce, we have head lettuce and also leaf lettuce. If we hold down the control key, that will enable multi-select for the site selection. And now we're showing the diazinon use in total pounds for head lettuce and leaf lettuce in the year 2005. And then we can also adjust our legend bounds based on the information that we're interested in. So as you see, this information here gives a summary at the top of exactly what this map is showing. So if you want to take a screenshot of this map, then you could use that and it would be able to show you exactly what's displayed on the map. So as I zoom a little further in, I can change some of my base maps around and I can actually get a sense for some of the fields that this activity is taking place in. We can see now we have some of the fields are starting to show up in the background using the aerial photos. And then based on how I wanted to view the data, I can change my bounds or change the years to view different types of data. And again, also the units, if I was more interested in how much of the area was actually applied to, not just the amounts, I can do total acres, or it gives me the pounds per acre on average. Thank you for attending this webinar. We have made the current version of the data viewer available for free at capur.stone-env.net. A data extraction version will be available on a subscription basis later this summer. With enough support, we will be able to continue enhancements and update the data as soon as it becomes available on California's website. We will make sure to keep you abreast of its availability and any new enhancements. Please feel free to contact us if you have further questions or would like additional information. We thank you again for your interest and hope you have a great day.